The Rookie Season 8 Episode 14 offers a lot of dash and a bit of Celina growth. Going on side missions is the Rookie's favorite activity. In the Rookie Season 8 Episode 14, Celina's fervent pursuit of missing persons cases was interspersed with Nolan's involvement in another case due to dash. And some of that was fairly successful. The traditional humor of the Rookie was particularly evident in the first few minutes of the hour. It was entertaining to watch Bradford get so excited about his beautiful new truck with all the technology. And as two shirtless males squared up in the middle of the road, Nolan and Lucy started kicking ass while he was on hold in the passenger seat. Was very funny. The slide with the bleeding face was very funny. I have to give Nolan credit for his outstanding performance this season. Lucy has also been involved in numerous fights. Lucy, the tiny little badass, never fails to hold her own. In terms of escalating the enjoyment, those were the kinds of things that seemed like a standard episode of The Rookie. Then, after learning that his teacher had passed away, Dash called with this strange case and got into some high school chaos that brought out the best in Lucy. She delivered a flawless monologue in which she dissects all the scandalous rumors she learned from the teenagers. She must have known just how to get all the tea spilled from a group of youngsters before. For the most part, the case seemed like something they had to do in order to give us the length of time we were given to watch Angela and Harper. Even though I adore my favorite police officers, it would have been great if they had additional activities. This season, The Rookie seems to be unsure on how to handle the majority of its characters. Nyla hasn't done much, unless it has to do with Glasser. Additionally, since the DA plot mostly took place off-screen and didn't really progress, they really haven't given Angela anything to work with. Once more, Miles was M.I. We jumped straight into everything with Dash, skipping the murder investigation that would have focused more on Harper and Lopez. I must admit that I prefer Dash over Raj when it comes to showrunner Holly's kids appearing in the series. Dash's bond with Nolan is charming, and I didn't mind him for the remainder of this hour. It's obvious that Nolan recognizes some of himself in Dash, and he has developed a strong affection for the youngster and wants to watch out for him. Dash's parents mistreated him, particularly his father Gus, who turned out to be a loser as a result. Dash's relationship with Nolan is not inherently flawed. It's quite touching and a fantastic opportunity for Nolan to get to know someone on a deeper level without being limited to Bailey. The way they haphazardly include Dash in stories is absolutely strange. The child is most likely the unluckiest person ever. And this season, I can't even begin to count how many times he's just sitting at the police station. When it was obvious that Dash didn't want anything to do with his father, it was unexpected that Nolan didn't think of a reason why he couldn't accompany him. Nolan was disappointed. Gus was awful. He didn't remember any of the traumas he had or the details of Dash discovering his teacher dead. Gus was preoccupied with his next venture and the people he owed money to. Ironically, by emphasizing that Nolan listens to Dash, they effectively convey how he is a father figure, the dad who stepped up. Nolan deduced that Dash would bring the crooks who were about to assassinate his father to Reese's home. It was quite fun after that. Reese was impressed by Dash. Without Gus's help, everyone survived and the criminals were taken into custody after they comically discovered that they really don't want to look into your parents' nightstand drawer. Gus acknowledged that he is a terrible father and guilty, but not enough for me to care or for it to matter. And for his own sake, I'm happy that. It was shocking that Celina was able to get Smitty to assist her in her hunt for someone, who turned out not to be missing. If he's willing to work for once, he truly does have a soft spot for her. However, it was her investigation into the disappearance of a woman named Apple that provided the true drama and excitement. God bless her heart and spider senses. Weren't taking Apple's roommate seriously enough. The girl continued to use the past tense as though she already knew Apple was dead, was reluctant to let Celina in, and made mistakes by mentioning how much Apple annoyed and disturbed her. Celina then committed the grave error of betraying this already suspicious woman. It was obvious that Apple's roommate had killed her when she discovered the tooth beneath the bed. She was also insane enough to attempt Celina's murder. It was crazy to blind her and then attack her with a hammer. Have you noticed the way she was swinging that? Oh my. Celina went there by herself without telling anyone, which was a stupid choice. It's horrifying to consider what may have occurred if she hadn't been able to stop the Amazonian woman who was approaching her with a hammer. However, I hope we see more of her handling missing persons cases because she is persistent and unrelenting. Transient thoughts. At last, an episode without Bailey. Tiger Bear sounds incredibly foolish. All I wanted to do was continually slap Gus. And what was Gus's expected age? Why didn't he appear to be old enough to have a son the same age as Dash? So Vivian will simply serve as the DA without any obstacles. Everyone's resignation says a lot about Vivian. I'm still attempting to understand this everything. Would you like to see more Celina content?